In this chapter, we will be looking at units of measurement. In this lesson, we're going to look at questions involving mass, length, and cost.
Okay, hi everybody. So in this lesson, we're actually going to take a look at a kind of a really practical side of the topics of measurement that we've been working through the last little while here. We're going to look at what happens when you have to buy something. Okay, so oftentimes you may be shopping and you'll look at the unit price of something. For example, you might notice for cheese is sold for a certain amount of money per pound or per kilogram, and then you look at the weight and then have to figure out, well, how much is this going to cost me then? Or you take it to the scale and you weigh it, and how much is this going to cost me? This is the sort of thing that we're looking at here. So you're going to be given a form of a sort of a rate, okay, cost per, it could be a unit of mass, could be a unit of length, and then we're going to use that to get the cost of the item, okay? It's basically just applying, again, a little bit of proportional reasoning. In fact, in some cases, just basically just multiplication here. But let's take a look at some examples of how this works. Okay, so in this question we read that if Parmesan cheese costs $5.49 per 300 kilograms, what is it going to cost for 490 grams? I'm going to see I did a bunch of work here, and for some reason it didn't record, so I'm going to have to do it again. We're going to set up a proportion here. We know it's got $5.49 per 300 grams. Now, this is easy to do because I'm really working with grams, and then I'm going to grams here. That's not always the way this works. Okay, it's not always the way that it works here, but when it does, this is quite convenient, because all I really have to do now is cross multiply. I will get x times 300 is equal to 5.49 multiplied by 459. Okay, and so 5.49 times 459, okay, is going to be 2,000. So it'll be x times 300 is equal to 2,519.91. And then to get the x by itself, to get that new price by itself, I'm going to divide by that coefficient 300. So on the calculator, divide by 300, and I get $8.40. Okay, when I round it. It's a little shy of that, but you'd round that to $8.40. And so there you go. That's how you would handle that kind of a conversion. So this question says, if deli ham costs $4.15 per 500 grams, what is the cost per kilogram? Okay, well, let's take a quick look here and figure out, well, how many kilograms is this 500 grams here? Now, remember, we know that 1 kilogram is going to equal 1,000 grams. So what we've got here is, if we're going to try to figure out how many kilograms we've got going on here, I'm going to put this in our little proportion here. And then I know this is going to be 500 grams. I don't know how many kilograms that's going to be. So I'm going to cross multiply, and I'm going to get 500 will equal 1,000 times x. And if I divide both sides by 1,000, I'm going to get that x is equal to, well, 500 divided by 1,000 is going to be 0.5. Basically, I've got half of a kilogram. So what I can do here is I've just converted 500 grams into kilograms. So $4.15 per kilogram, per 500 grams is the same as 0.5 kilograms. Okay, and so, and I know there's other ways I can do this, but one thing I can just do right here is just divide by that value, 4.15 divided by 0.5. Okay, and I'm going to get that this is the same as $8.30 per 1 kilogram. Okay? And that's one way I can do it. So what I did here is I converted that 500 grams into kilograms and then just did the division. Okay? Because it was per kilogram. I wanted the denominator to be 1, so I just did the division, kind of simplified the expression, and made it $8.30 over 1 kilogram. Okay, that's one option. Max drives an old American vehicle. His odometer is set to miles, but his employer pays him in 0.75 cents per 75 cents per kilogram. If Max drove 1,700 miles, how much will he be reimbursed for his trip? Well, what we probably want to do here is convert that into kilometers. Now, I have got right here, and you know what? I should have pulled that out immediately. I've got the conversion sheet right here. And so we're looking for miles to kilometers here. And where have I got here? 1 mile is equal to 1.609 kilometers. So the first thing we're going to do is convert this 1,700 miles into kilometers. But I know that 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. So 1,700 miles is going to equal X kilometers. But I love this kind of conversion here. X times 1 is just going to be X. And this will be 1.609 multiplied by 1,700. 1.609 multiplied by 1,700. And we get 2,735.3 kilometers. So now, he's getting paid, he's getting paid 75 cents per kilometer, per 1 kilometer. And now, how much money is he going to get for 2,735.3 kilometers? Well, we cross multiply. 1 times x is x. So 0.75 times 2,735.3. Okay. So I'm just going to take the number that I just calculated, multiply it by 0.75. Okay, and he's going to get $2,051.48. Yeah, let's keep going. So here, sorry, can't see that. Stephen owns a carpet warehouse. He sells hallway runners for hotels at $9.51 per linear foot. So how much would it cost per linear yard? Okay. So we know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So another way that I could have done that previous question where I did the division, so I'll just show you right here. This one here I converted that denominator into kilograms and then did the division here. Another way that I could set this up here is set it up more as a proportion. I know that we've got $9.51 per 1 linear foot. And so the question is going to be, how much is this going to cost per yard? Well, let's convert 1 yard into feet. And actually, that's easy to do because that's our conversion factor. So this is going to be 3 feet. This means the same thing, okay, as 1 yard. So all I want to do now is figure out what that numerator is. So I'm going to cross multiply. 1 times x is going to be x. And then this will be 3 times 9.51. So just go to my calculator. And I get 28.53. So the numerator here would be 28.53. But because this 3 feet actually is a yard, this is going to be $28.53 per yard. How much will it cost per linear meter? Okay, so now we're talking about converting from let's say yards to meters here. Now, I know I have a conversion here. I know that 1 meter is equal to 1.0936 yards. Okay, that's given to me on my sheet right here. 1 meter is 1.0936 yards. So we're going to do this. I'm going to set it up similar to what I did before here. I've got $28.53 per yard, per 1 yard. I want it now per meter. But instead of writing it down per meter by putting on 1 meter here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to convert that. I want to make this 1.0936 yards because that is a meter. I don't know how much that's going to cost, but I will cross multiply. 1 yard times x is just going to be x, and then I'm going to get 1.0936 yards, which is a meter, multiplied by $28.53. Do that on the calculator there. And I get $31 $31.20. So there we go. That's going to be $31. So I should write it up here then. $31.20 per meter. And then finally, if a client needs 4.1 meters of runner first hallway, how much would it cost? Now, this isn't a great way to answer this question, okay? Because usually you're going to kind of overbuy whatever. But like if we're doing just kind of exactly what they're asking us to do, just with the numbers that we're given, taking it for as it is, if it's, whoops, well, I'll write it like this. If I have 4.1 meters and it costs $31.20 per meter, I'm just going to multiply those out. And when I multiply that out, I'm just doing it on my calculator off to the side here, that is going to cost me $127.92. Now, usually when you're talking about construction stuff or you're, decorating stuff, you usually overbuy, you kind of round up so that you have a little bit of waste there. But anyway, I mean, just want you to understand the way this one would work here. So I did things a couple of different ways, kind of hopefully giving you some options, give you a little bit of freedom with how you approach this. I hope that helps and I hope that makes sense.